Russian and Chinese officials sharing the stage with Kim Jong-un this week as North Korea touts their nuclear-capable missiles and drones. So how much of this is a threat?
Let's ask retired Green Beret Colonel of the U.S. Army Special Forces, Florida Congressman Michael Waltz. Congressman, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Yeah, thanks. Good to be with you.
Now, you were involved, you were one of the lead searching for Bowe Bergdahl, the army deserter who was swapped for Taliban killers. Tell us his latest developments.
Yeah, this is really unbelievable. An appellate judge, so Bergdahl's team, appealed his conviction, to which he pled guilty to, but an appellate judge decided that the military judge overseeing the case was unduly biased because he applied for a job within the Trump administration. He applied to be an immigration judge. And because of President Trump rightly calling Bergdahl the traitor that he was, this new judge, this appellate judge, has thrown out the sentencing, and essentially Bergdahl not only doesn't have jail time, he now has a clean record. So I've sent a letter with a number of Republicans to the Pentagon demanding that they appeal again for a new trial, because this is a slap in the face to every veteran. It's a slap in the face to the families of those who died looking for this traitor, including me and my men. And it's just yet another travesty of justice.
Yeah, I really hope that something can be done with this letter that you're sending. I mean, what can be done? I mean, it's thrown out.
Well, essentially, they can try him again.
Yeah.
And that's what the Pentagon should be asking for. But my concern is the politicals at this Pentagon, many of which were the same under the Obama administration. And you remember President Obama with Bergdahl's parents in the Rose Guard calling him, and Susan Rice calling him a hero, that they're not interested in trying this again. They want it to just kind of go away. Yeah. Well, my promise to every veteran out there, we're not going to let it go away.
Thanks for that.
And just returning to this subject of North Korea, we see Russian leaders, among others, turning up to this huge military parade in Pyongyang. What do you make of this?
Well, look, you know, the Russians, the Chinese, and the North Koreans have always had varying levels of cooperation, but to have the Russian defense minister reviewing illegal nuclear missiles in North Korea at a huge parade is a big deal. And this is all at the same time that China is tripling its nuclear arsenal. So for those who think the Chinese Communist Party and its allies aren't in a Cold War with the United States, for those who think that we can just forget it, you know, don't worry about it with defense spending and modernizing our systems, they're wrong. It's a very dangerous world, and we're seeing the world's worst actors with weapons that can destroy the United States and the rest of the world getting closer and closer together.
Congressman, when the war between, or at least the American involvement in the war in Ukraine with weapons and so forth, and of course our own president not doing everything he could to prevent it from happening in the first place, doing nothing to bring about some sort of peace alliance in this situation and end this war, it was very predictable before the war that this would be a result of it, an alliance between China and Russia. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. President Biden could have done a lot more to arm Ukraine, as President Trump did, beforehand to hopefully prevent it. But if, you know, in failing to do that, let's bring it and drive it to some type of conclusion. And that doesn't just mean a blank check with weapons. The biggest thing that we could be doing, the biggest weapon in our arsenal, is American energy. We should be flooding the zone with American oil and gas, drive down the prices, and starve Putin of his ability to finance this war. By the way, it's the Chinese buying the most Russian gas and coal right now. So that's the biggest flaw. Instead, you've got Kerry over there on bended knee talking about climate change.
Yeah, you're right. The energy is one lever. But diplomacy is two. I wish we could do something to end this war and hopefully not see more of these alliances that are clearly not in our national interest. Congressman, great having you. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Congressman Michael Waltz.
Thanks, guys.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.